What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. Happy Mother's Day to all you awesome mothers out there. And
I thought you were going to say something else.
what? And man, if you guys just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. Also, hit that share button. Never know who might need to hear this. Yeah, today is Mother's Day, man. It's full of celebration to honor the women in our lives that are just out here busting their butts, man. I tell you right now, women hold down the world. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. I know Tiffany in my household keeps everybody in line, and things just don't happen, you know. And yeah, so today that's what we're going to talk about, man. We're going to talk about Mother's Day. We're going to kind of freestyle it a little bit and just talk about what Mother's Day means to you. And if you guys would, you know, put in the comments, let us know what Mother's Day means to y'all as well. We'd really like to, you know, just celebrate Mother's Day, you know, and what it means. And to everybody's different, you know, to everybody's different how they're celebrating. Some people struggle on this day and some people celebrate it. You know, a lot of people have, you know, pain because, you know, your mother's not there, or, you know, like maybe you lost a child, you know, and it's hard. But you know, cause I mean, my mom, she passed away 8 years ago, you know, and, it never gets easier. You know, we all, we need our mamas, you know, mamas are important. So, like I said, if you guys are, what'd you do today? You know, let us know. I'm going to let Nathan start this one off with, how Mother's Day is. What?
Clarity statement.
We have a clarity statement here.
Oh man, sorry.
Protocol. Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe
Where am I?
Step
I'm gonna start this over. Hold on. I'm gonna start this over. Okay, I'm back. I went back to the future.
Yeah, we're gonna do the clarity statement.
Hold on, Caesar. Will you do that clarity statement for us?
I would be happy to, Justin.
Great idea.
Great idea.
This is the
I thought of it.
Clarity statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common. Recovery is a lifestyle. Support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. And thank you for being a part of our Hope Shot family.
Thanks, Caesar. That actually was a lot better. You know, now that Nathan said to do it, you know, I don't know why. But all right, let's start that over again. Hey, Nate, you want to start this one off first?
Yeah, I just I didn't think we were talking about this, but now we are.
Hold on. Here's what we were gonna do before Justin got off the rails. So if you're watching and if you're in the comments and you'd like to put a topic up, we would be happy to speak on the topic. In the meantime, we're going to talk about how our days looked and, you know, just go back and forth. But we'd love some interaction with everybody and see what you guys bring to the table today. Because in all reality, we ain't got a topic. All we got is it's Mother's Day.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's been a filling weekend. You see all this redness on my face. It's been the summer is back. 2 pool parties this weekend and a surf sesh this morning or yesterday morning. So yeah, Mother's Day is it's tricky for me. It's definitely gotten easier. I know everybody on this screen tonight, all our moms have passed on, and so it's but it's like I know earlier on in my recovery it was a really sad day, and I would you know, just feel a little off, and but it's kind of as my spiritual connection has evolved, as I've gotten closer, you know, to God and to my fellows and in this deal. Yeah, we'll touch on that for sure. And it's shifted, and it's kind of like when she passed, when I wasn't even a year into recovery, and I'm like, how do I honor my mom? How do I honor her and not do the things that, were a disappointment to her, or, made her so frustrated with me. And so it's like a, yeah, for me, it's today, and it's not just on Mother's Day. It's really every day, these hard these losses, and losing my mom, losing my girls early in recovery. It's like, I could go one or two ways. I could act a damn fool and revert back to old patterns and behaviors just to temporarily fix these heavy emotions and feelings, which are only going to suppress them and make them even worse. Or I can talk about them. I could get honest. I could get vulnerable, and turn it over to this power and use it as a tool, and honor my mom's memory in a way that would make her proud of me. And that's been the big shift for me today. It's like I was talking to a friend this morning, and you know I just know that I know that my mom would be proud of me. And you know what, my mom saw who this individual is today way before I could ever see it. She never gave up on me. She always believed in me, always had faith that I could be a better man, and overcome my disease of alcoholism and addiction. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she saw. Actually, I do. She saw what I couldn't see. She saw that there was good in me. She saw that there was hope. She had faith, and I didn't. She believed, and I wasn't able to. I was blocked off. And through this process, through you know my recovery program, through a strengthening relationship with my higher power, um, I was able to see and start to have faith and believe in myself, just as she did. And yeah, so today it's like, I just choose to honor her. I choose to honor her by showing up, being an example of what recovery looks like, by being a man of integrity, of honesty, of character, and just being like she was. I was telling my friend this morning, my mom was the closest thing to the divine that I ever really knew. I always believed there was something, because she was like a reflection of this power that I'm able to have such a beautiful relationship, and that I see like working in so many people's lives today. She was it. It naturally came to her. She was just kind, compassionate, loved unconditionally, no judgment. Um, yeah, and I promise you, I gave her many reasons, to cast me out and judge me and be disappointed in me, but she just loved me. And that's a hell of a lesson for a guy like me, because when I'm getting frustrated, when I'm not getting short with somebody, or being judgmental, I can turn back to you know how my mom was, and the light that she was, and how she never gave up on me. And that's what we do today. We don't give up on people. We don't. We go in with a open heart and open mind. We don't, when these people are still struggling, and we reach a hand out, and we see how we can be of service. And if they don't take it, we don't like, well, this guy's, whatever. We just plant a seed, and pray that they come back. And I'm grateful for my mom to the fullest, and I'm grateful to be surrounded, in recovery, and to see, like, because I mean, I'm in this house, and I'm with a girl that she's just like the most amazing mother. She reminds me of mine. Right. So, and I get to be a part of that dynamic, and see what it means to parent and to sacrifice and to compromise and all of these things that my parents did. And just to see that, like, that strength and that unconditional love, right in the house that I'm living in right now. It's such an honor. And yeah, I'm but it's still hard. It's still sad. I love my mom. I miss her to death. You know what I mean? But what purpose does it serve for me, to stay in self? I could be sad, I could be self-centered and be like, oh, poor me, poor me. But yeah, I choose not to take that direction today. I choose to say, be thankful and grateful for everything that she was and not the thing that she isn't today, because guess what? She is still alive and present within my spirit. If I believe my higher power is everything, then that means my mom was a part of that power. And if this higher power is working in and through me, that might means my mom is working in and through me on a daily basis. So yeah, what am I doing to be a reflection of that beauty and love and kindness and compassion that she so unselfishly shared with me when I did not deserve it? The least I could do is show that same energy and that same love to, not just my friends or loved ones, but everybody, because she didn't pick who she was that way to. She just was that way. And that's what I strive to be. I just want to be steady and consistent and just, show up the same way with every person in every situation, to the best of my ability. And yeah, honor her by, continuing to grow and to be an example of, what recovery and what a higher power can do in somebody's life, especially a guy like me. And yeah, very grateful today. I'm a little somber, a little heavy hearted, but not in the sense that I'm mourning or, depressed or anything like that. I chose to take this day in love on the woman that is in my household, and to go, spend time with friends and go buy a flower and bring it to dad so he can honor her, and, give my dad a hug as he's crying, and be there for him for a change. What can I bring into this world instead of take from it? And yeah, I got to do all that today. So I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, with exactly who I'm supposed to be here with, sharing this message with you guys tonight. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. That's all I got for now.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Nate, man. I'm glad you're here. And what a way to honor your mom, and it's funny. It's not funny. I don't know why I always say that. I hate that but it's true. How they seen it in us before we seen it in ourselves. They seen the potential way before we even knew we had any, and that's how we live up to it these days,
Yeah. And I always thought, man, my mom's just biased. She just loves me, man. But no, she saw something, because if she didn't, I would have been kicked to the curb, way, 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 way long ago.
Yeah. I'm going to take what's up with some people real quick. We got Big Steve.
What
Big
up,
Steve?
Steve?
What up? And we got Jules. Hey, guys. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to you. We have Allie. We're going to talk about a little bit about that, because I can relate to that big time. We got Rudolph. What up, Rudolph? I wonder if you guys are going live tonight. Yep, we're here. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, your photo said it. Topic idea: being a parent. Topical idea. Being a parent and maintaining your sobriety, and how it affects your daily process, and importance of keeping yourself and your recovery as a top priority. Do's and don'ts, and we're definitely going to hit on that. Yeah,
I want to answer that.
You want to?
Yeah,
I definitely have some stuff on that as well. A lot of don'ts. Let's see. We have Rudolph says, amen to that, Nate. My mom and I were just having a conversation about this yesterday. I know some people saw the card, but yeah, we had a good talk about how she stuck it out, and I'm glad I got better and quick enough for her to be able to see it.
Amen.
I love that whole thing is
Yeah.
That whole card was just great, you know, like sticking around and showing mom appreciation for being there through our garbage, our mess. And then here you are about to make her a grandma. Congratulations to Rudolph too on they're expecting in October. Hopefully that means we get to celebrate together because Jalen's birthday is right around that time, October 12th. We got Kyle, good to see you. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you supporting, man. Appreciate that. Let's see. We got Sober Now. What's up, Melissa? Happy Mother's Day. And that's about it. Oh, we got Lisa. How you doing, Lisa? Happy Mother's Day to you. So yeah, I want to hit on what you were talking about, Nate, real quick about the how do we honor, you know. I shared this about that in a meeting not too long ago, you know, because, you know, me growing up, there was always like an abusive situation in my household. It was always craziness. Like my stepdad was just a madman and he would abuse my mom like crazy. And it was just like, it was horrible. You know, it's horrible to witness. It's horrible that my mom had to go through that. You know, it shouldn't be, we shouldn't treat people like that, you know, especially women we love. Right. And what I shared this not too long ago in a meeting, but you know, my mom's not here. So like my amends can never be given or shown or done. Right. So how do I amend? How do I show my mom amends? Cause I wasn't the best character, you know, I was a horrible person, you know, and, you know, there's a lot of things that I didn't agree with what she did. And there's a lot of things that I probably should have been better at, you know, and you know, I have that survivor's guilt sometimes, like, cause she was in her addiction as well. And, you know, I held guilt for a while with that, you know, in recovery, but you know, I've worked through some things, but how I've computed it in my brain is how I do my amends to her is I'm taking care of my kids. You know, they'll never have to see me high. I amended. Yep, that's a like. I amended my relationships with my other kids, the kids that I wasn't around for. You know, they'll never have to. My kids will never see me hit their mother. They will see me take care of her and show her love like she's supposed to, so they can actually go out into this world and be decent human beings and know what a healthy relationship is. There's a lot of things that I'm doing with those little, you know, those little things, man, and spending time with them, hearing them, being a human to them, not being high, not being out all the time, actually spending time. You know, we just had like an intimate Mother's Day and just chilled, just all of us just chilled, you know, and we just spent time together, and that's what we did. And so those are the ways, those small things, you know, I can equate to making amends to my mom and my grandma, you know, because I was a shithead to her too, you know, and I was out of control just from teens on, you know. And so that is how I have made amends to my mom. And you know what? And I'm living up to those standards. And I know she's smiling down, and I know she's present in these moments where we have just a wonderful time. We're about to go on vacation, which is going to be like the most epic stuff ever. And we're going to spend quality time together. And I'm super excited about that, you know. So yeah, man. And we just, you know, hung out with Tiffany and did what she wanted. And, you know, we got her some plants. The kids got her some plants, and, and, you know, that's about it, you know, and we just had a chill day. You know, I figured, Caesar, maybe you can hit on that real quick, and then we can go talk about these topics that we have in here. You know, if you want to hit on Mother's Day real quick.
I mean, you guys already put it together pretty well, and there's starting to be a couple good topics in there. But basically, you know, like everybody else on the screen, my mom's not here, but I was fortunate enough to be with her, you know, on her way out. So I had a couple of years of recovery under my belt, and I made sure that I put in the time and the effort and gave her back what I stole, which was I stole her time and I stole her peace of mind. And I did my best to give that back to her. She ended up being in a nursing home, and I petitioned to get her moved to one that was literally, I don't know, a mile from where we lived here in Pasco. And I was able to visit her every single day and spend time with her. Kelly got to meet her. We brought the kids up there. They had like Halloween at the nursing home, and everyone would bring their kids, and we trick or treat up and down the halls and just try to make it as normal as possible. My mom had dementia, and she thought she was in a hotel, and I wasn't going to tell her she wasn't, because, hey, if you think you're in a hotel, that's pretty sweet, man. You think you're on vacation all the time. I am not going to burst that bubble. But the important thing for me was, no matter what I had going on, how busy I was, I made it a point to go give that time and go sit there and just be there with her, show her pictures of the kids, show her what was going on with my life, because I robbed her of time and peace of mind her entire life. And she's never, up until that point, never seen me hold down a job. She got to see that. She's never seen me with a driver's license or a car for longer than a couple months before I put it into a wall or a tree or the back of a garbage truck or all the things that I've done. So she got to see some kind of stability. And those were the important things. And then there's the living amends that comes after that. How do I treat the women in my life today? How do I treat the mother that's right underneath my roof, Kelly? And do I honor that? And I think that's really the appropriate place to practice these principles inside of our four walls under the roof that we live in, because we can be in meetings and we can be on this and talk all this good stuff, but how are we living behind the front door of our house? And that's the hardest place to practice it, because you just give it all out all day long, and then you come back and you're tired, and we shortchanged our loved ones. And that's not what we're supposed to do. So today was about giving Kelly a day that she wanted, and that she didn't have to do all the work or the preparation or any of those things, and just letting her kind of do whatever she wanted and float around in the pool. You see my red bald head, and Nathan came by, and after the cookout and the pool time, he came in the house with me, and we cleaned everything, put everything away. And when she walked back in the house later, it was done. There was nothing for her to do. She didn't have to clean up or any of that stuff. And that may not sound like the biggest deal in the world, but I know for a fact that's what she wants. So on Mother's Day, she don't want to clean up everybody's mess. So that's what we did. And thank you, Nathan, for helping me. We got everything put together. House looks good. It doesn't look like we had a party here. So that's it, man. Treat the people under your roof the way that you would treat that struggling alcoholic or addict that you'd give all your time and attention to, and you just want the best for them. That's how I need to be acting right here at home with my family. So that's it.
Yeah, because sometimes, man, we can get lost in the sauce, and sometimes the people out there get more of our attention and kindness than sometimes at home. And we can get lost sometimes in that chaos, but then we have to, I've stepped back sometimes and see that stuff. We don't get in arguments much, but sometimes we do. It's more like disagreements. Just disagreements, never arguments, right? So yeah, well, thank you guys for coming on tonight on Mother's Day, and
no problem. See you later.
What the hell? That was easy. You ain't getting off the hook that easy. Yeah, that's awesome to do that for Kelly, man. It's they're always picking up the slack. They're always picking up the slack.
You ever use this excuse? Oh man, I've been doing this, and that all day. I don't want to do that. And then it becomes an expectation for my wife to do something, and I forget she's been doing it. And now you guys know what she does. She busts her ass all day long. And, I don't think I understood because my work was, out and about and running around and doing. And it took me one day of staying home and watching what she does. And I was like, oof, I don't, I wouldn't trade jobs with you. Like, that's for sure.
Let's hit on this topic real quick.
Nathan, you said you had something for this.
No, I had something for the other one, but I got something for this too. I'll
Let's do some quickies so we can get the other one too.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, depression is a real clinical thing. If and sometimes whatever recovery arena you subscribe to, sometimes 12 steps and the fellowship and isn't enough. You need to go seek medical attention and get a proper opinion. It's funny, you hear a lot of people in these rooms trying to say, oh, do this. We're not doctors. We are not doctors. Depression is a real thing. And if that's something you're struggling with, you definitely want to get that addressed. For me personally, the more time and space I put in between me and my last use, the more I realized that my depression, my anxiety, my OCD, all these things were directly related from me being blocked off from this power. The more I get connected, then the more I got, tuned in to this deal, the more that stuff kind of, went to the wayside, but, with that being said, 4 years into my recovery, a rock got unturned, right? And underneath it lied this nice, beautiful trauma that I experienced, and because of that, I had to go seek outside help. I had to go see a therapist because, it didn't matter what I was doing or how plugged in. And I promise you, I'm doing the deal. Like I was, fully immersed into this recovery process, but I needed outside help because, so how you handle it like anything else. Just like how do we handle when we discover that we're an alcoholic? We find a clear-cut solution to that problem. We, go through this process. We identify the problem and then we utilize the tools to address it and to get to the other side of it. That looks different for every unique individual. Sometimes, this recovery process will heal a lot of that stuff. Sometimes people need to go see a doctor, get on some medication. Sometimes church will say, who knows? It's all unique and it's all individualized for each person. So.
Yeah. What will work for one person might not work for the other. Everybody's individualized. And I remember when I first got in recovery, they, I went to outpatient treatment and they were trying to put me on some stuff. And I was like, well, whoa, before I start putting some stuff in me, let me see if it's the drugs first. Right. And technically it kind of was, but there's some underlying stuff that I had to figure out as well, because I'm fucked up, at times, and depression, anxiety, man, I've had real high highs and real low lows, like really bad. And I feel like doomsday is coming, right? I would always have that doom and gloom always on the horizon. And I couldn't help it. That was some serious depression I had. And, in this recovery, it's like I feel like the depression comes, and this is just my experience. And like I said, I went and I, started taking a mood stabilizer, non-narcotic, and I went to started doing therapy. Did therapy twice a week or twice a month. I think it was once a week. And then it went to 2 times a month. And now I do once a month. And even though I don't feel like I don't need it anymore, I still go. Just because, I don't know. I just feel like I just need to keep going, right? But since I'd started doing that, like the depression doesn't come. Doom and gloom is not there anymore. I started being content of where I am and stop trying to chase this place that I'm supposed to be at, and like this happiness I'm supposed to find and this pure bliss. And I share about that a lot is like this fantasy land. We want to talk about, being in reality and being present in our lives. Well, I can still be like I'm on drugs and be in this false reality of what life is, this altered reality that like I'm not okay and I need to be somewhere else and I need to get there. And the only how I get there is like the next job, the next friend, the next accomplishment, the next task, all these things trying to get to this place. And I just totally just bypassed my life. And when things don't work out, man, it's a shit show, you know? So I would definitely, like Nate said, outside help is always a great thing. Always. Doesn't hurt. Nothing will hurt you.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Cece, you want to share about that, or we want to go to the next one? You want to go to the next one? Okay. We are on, let's see, Jules. Topic, being a parent and maintaining your sobriety and how it affects your daily process and the importance of keeping yourself and your recovery as a top priority. The do's and the don'ts.
Ooh. Let's, Caesar, go ahead.
No, it's Caesar's.
Caesar, go.
Put you down there.
Yeah.
No, it's such a great question.
It is.
Because in all reality, it is very difficult to balance family and work and recovery and all the stuff and the things. It's a constant juggling act, but being a parent is the most important thing in the world to me. But how good of a parent am I if I'm not practicing my recovery? I've got 20 years of evidence to say not very good. Like I'm not good to anybody if I don't put my recovery first. So I have to take care of myself before I try to pour into anybody else. I'm no good to those children if I'm not spiritually fit, if I'm resentful and angry and teetering and on the edge of picking up a drug or a drink. I'm not good for them. So what it looked like for me is, or actually even Kelly took the kid to the meetings with her, like whatever you have to do to get your recovery time in. We're blessed. We had some meetings over in this area that the women would change out and do childcare and take them into another room. But whatever you have to do, because the alternative is you're actively using, and you can't be a decent parent when you're actively using. So it looks different for everybody. I don't know what your specific situation is, but for me, I have to get up each and every morning and get myself spiritually fit before I go into the day. We get up real early in this house. The kids have to go to school early. You've got grumpy kids that don't want to go to school at 6 o'clock in the morning, and
grumpy parents that don't want to go to work.
I have been up before them and I've done my readings and I've prayed because I don't want to be an asshole. I don't. I want to be a good example to my kids, and I want to be that steady, constant, responsible, reliable, no questions. Maybe not always super fun sometimes, but serious when I need to be, and I can only be those things when I put my recovery first, because I was none of those things before recovery. Those aren't words you would use to describe me. My daughter took her first steps. I was not there. I was locked up. The first time I saw her walk and toddle around, I was in another facility. After that, I was in DACO in Tampa, and I got a visit and got to see that. And I remember all of that stuff, and she doesn't. She was too little. She doesn't remember that. And I want her to always have the picture she has now, that you can come to dad, you can talk to dad. I'm not crazy. I'm not missing for days, any of that stuff. So, the things that I do to stay sober, those have to come first. Those are my priority, because I can't pour from an empty cup. I can't fill up these kids' lives and be a good teacher, mentor, and all those things if I'm empty inside. So that's my advice, is make sure that you're filling your cup up, whatever that looks like, whatever you've got to do to get a meeting or get some quiet time to read or call some people in the fellowship, whatever it looks like that what you need to fill yourself up, make that a priority each and every day. Don't put yourself on the back burner because that seems like the right thing to do. I got to do it for my kids and I got to do this and I got to do that, but you're not doing anything for anybody if you're not well. So that's it.
Thanks, Caesar. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, ditto to almost everything everything he said. I agree with 100%. But it's like, what's amazing to me is the moment that I prioritize recovery and relationship with my higher power, everything in my life shifted. And just to understand, like, all I have to do is just look back. When I didn't prioritize these things, I had nothing. There wasn't even a hope of being a parent, the hope of holding a job, the hope of having a license, the hope of even being free, kind of figuratively speaking, because I was never free, but not in prison. There was no hope for anything, and the only reason that I am able to experience these things is because of recovery, is because of my relationship with my higher power. It's the only reason that I am that I am put in a position to experience any of these blessings. With that being said, when I first come into to recovery, my meeting schedule, I'm hitting meetings every day. I'm doing all the things, all the activities, everything, and life gets busy, right? And what I used to, my schedule today looks nothing like it did in my first couple of years. But nevertheless, there are some things that I maintain on a daily basis to ensure that I am capable of handling the responsibilities of being a parent, of having a business, of being a part of our organization, of being imagine all of this responsibility, all of these things that, all of us on the screen are able to experience today with how we used to be. We couldn't do it, so it is my responsibility to prioritize recovery, to prioritize the most important relationship in my life, which is that with my higher power. Because if I am doing that, then I am capable of shouldering the responsibilities and the pressures of being, a parent, of being an employee, of running a business, of having the wherewithal to sit down with my partner and tell her, okay, so Mondays I have my thing, Tuesdays you have yours, and coming up with a schedule so we can work together so both of us are getting what we need in order to maintain our recovery. It's and I only know this now, and I'm still learning, and I'm just scratching the surface of what it means to prioritize these things. Because even in my relationship today, as soon as I prioritize not her, not the relationship, but my higher power, everything shifted between us. We were finally able to, move forward in the way we were meant to move forward. And that goes for every situation, every responsibility, whether it's my job, whether it's, surfing, whatever it is. As long as I am prioritizing these things, I am able to experience these things in a more, truer way, like in a full way. I can appreciate them. I can, they just taste different. They look different. They sit different in my spirit, and it's yeah. So for me, it's the 100, like my main priority has to be recovery and my higher power, because it's obvious. I just have to look back 6 years. Without that, I had nothing. With it, I have this beautiful life that I could never even dream of. So what am I doing to be able to maintain these blessings and to honor these blessings and to, experience them as I'm meant to, not selfishly, and, that's a great topic. That topic I could talk about for the whole show.
There's some good stuff in here. Can I put one up?
Sure. I
No, Justin wanted to touch on this.
Oh no, go ahead.
Put it up.
No, Justin, I want to hear yours on this.
I apologize. I got all excited. Go ahead, Justin. Talk. I can put it up next.
No, go ahead and put it up.
I bet you could talk on that.
Can you put your hands on the thing and then read it?
It says, I thought sober would solve everything. It doesn't. It just helps me be able to solve everything. I have to deal with all the crap that I could ignore before. Ugh, it's okay. God, give me the strength. I want to be a better person. And I love that. You want to speak on it first, though?
Yes.
Not
Justin.
you. Yeah, Justin.
What? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, when I got in recovery, I thought it was going to solve everything. And I thought drugs and alcohol was my only problem, but it wasn't. What I was going to say about the do's and don'ts of parenting, I've had a lot of fails and I've had a lot of victories and I've had a lot of lessons, this is all a learning process for all of us. None of us were given a freaking manual that says, okay, you got to do like this. And this is exactly how it's done. And here you go. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happened for me with like forgiving my parents for what they did, because they didn't have an instruction manual either, and it helped me be able to see that. See, I got into recovery and then I started solving these things, right? It was like Blue's Clues, but it was like, now I understand. It's like I had to like let go of those things that kept me sick, right? It was those things that my parents, like when I was being raised, and the craziness and the alcoholism and the using and all these things, I carried for so long, till I was 35 years old, I was still dealing with shit that I was when I was a kid. And then I had to stop trying to throw my trauma on my kids. I was really big on doing that. And I had to stop doing that because I'm literally thinking that because I went through something, they're going to do the exact same shit. And then like, I'm overcompensating on being a parent instead of letting them just be little humans, and letting them, they have to figure things out on their own too. And they have to make their decisions. We're raising them decent, not like I was raised, and I have to give them some grace, and I have to let them just be kids too, and I can get lost in this recovery thing. I can get lost in chasing success. I can get lost in a lot of things. But I also have to make sure I prioritize. And I think I see a comment right here. This right here, something I'm guilty of is prioritizing my recovery and not communicating clearly to my wife and my kids and having them feel second in my life, which isn't true. Communication is definitely a do. And that is huge. Communicating, being able to communicate. That recovery helped me solve that problem too. I would shut down. I would freaking yell or scream in anger and all these things because I didn't know how to I didn't know how to regulate emotions, I'm just a big kid, just like they are. So it's like, who's running the show here, But and I don't want them to ever feel like that. But like, I can get lost in work. I can get lost in recovery. I can get lost with service. I can get lost with a lot of things, and I can put them second sometimes. And it's not the case. And that's why when we have moments where we can show them, and give them the undivided attention for that moment is even if it's 10 minutes, they'll think it's like a lifetime, and me overthinking, like I'll like have to make these big things out of it, like these huge celebrations of spending time together. It doesn't have to be like that. It could be so simple. It could just be sitting on the couch, laying your head on their lap and just watching a TV show with them for 10 minutes, and I do that all the time. Like, I ain't got time to do these freaking awesome things and spend a lot of money because I'm overcompensating for not being there for them when they were younger and using, like my kids that I wasn't in their life for and feeling guilty and just everything, So I had to like deal with that trauma. And that's where the depression and therapy and all that stuff, all those things work itself out. You know, we have to deal with that stuff, you know, and then we don't pass it down. You know, generational trauma is real, you know, it's real. So yeah, that's what I got. Okay, we want to read the rest of them?
Well, can I just
You can do whatever you want.
say something on this one that yes,
It's an awesome comment. I'm a dork, I know.
I think we all thought just putting down the shit would solve everything. Like, I don't think that's a weird statement at all. Like, the times that I put down drugs and alcohol, but did nothing else to work on myself, did my life get better? Well, yeah. You know, I wasn't getting arrested or anything. Did it repair any relationships or earn any trust or anything else other than me just not getting arrested? No. Because I walk around town just throwing grenades in people's houses. And then I go, okay, I'm out of grenades. Everybody come love me. Doesn't work that way, you know? And I had to have somebody teach me that. Like, I was like, what do you mean, man? I got 30 days. Love me. Like, look what I've done. I'm so great. What it took to mend those relationships, what it took to be able to hold my head up high was the work, the internal work, that then I could go external, make amends, and my actions could align with those amends. And when I tell somebody I'm not going to do this again, it wasn't just lip service. It was, I'm really not going to do this again. And what can I do to make it right? Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes a decade. You don't know what it's going to take. But if your actions are steady and you're doing this deal every day and putting the work in, things will change. And then everything will be solved. Because I know when I stepped into this thing, I had a mountain of shit that I could not fathom of how I was going to get out of it. I was like, that's great. You know, I'm sober, but I've got charges and just nobody that I've ever met wants anything to do with me, and nobody wants to help me, and I have no money, and what am I going to do? But I'm here to tell you that all of that stuff is gone now. Like, I've one foot in front of the other, next right thing, internal work, chasing God's will and not mine. And I can look back at all of those things that I worried about and all those problems that I had that I thought could never be solved were solved faster than I could have ever dreamed. It's just, you just have to be patient with people. We don't dictate what their timeline is to be able to deal with us when we've been button heads and bull in a china shop for years. You know, we don't dictate that. All we can do is keep going. Don't pick up. Keep working on ourselves in that slow, steady example that we've been responsible and reliable and good people. Eventually, that's all they remember, and they forget the old person. That's it.
Yeah, I think like also two things I just want to talk about, because Steve says a great, he puts a great message on here. It says, how do I show this? Right. Boom. Good stuff. Yeah. So good stuff, Justin, good stuff. Getting sober is having a life. And that's like another part of that. I just wanted to tie that to the prioritizing, because guess what? I didn't get sober to be at 2-3 meetings every day, 7 days a week. I got sober so I could experience what it means to have a life. You know, I got sober so I could have experiences with my loved ones, so I could be an example in my community, you know, of what recovery looks like. And I think that's a great point to make. And also about the solving everything, you know, like, spoiler alert, drug and alcohol is not my problem. I'm my problem. You know, and I don't really have problems. I only have the perception of problems. You know, the only true problem I have is how I see things and what I need to do to fix what I have going on in here. because what I remember, and a clear-cut example of that is being in jail, but finally surrendering, and this time around. And guess what? Jail wasn't a problem anymore. I was grateful for where I was at. I felt freer than I had ever felt in my entire life. And that I'm in jail, you know what I mean, facing prison. And I shifted my perception, and all of a sudden the judge started, instead of 5 years, started talking about treatment. And my life has never been the same, because I started working on the only thing I need to solve, which is my dumbass and how I see people, how I see places, how I see things, and how I make it all about me, or I blame you. And once I started taking responsibility for all these, you know, and understanding that I caused all my problems, you know, I am the creator of my problems. And what freedom to let all that go and just be like, okay, the real problem is Nate. You know, what am I doing today to fix him? Because once I started doing that and getting right with my higher power, you know, all these so-called problems became just something, you know, that I had to walk through. Probation, no problem, easy. You know, I can, you know, I could never finish probation. There's a little slogan. What is it? What's this?
Come on vacation,
Yeah.
leave on probation, come back
Yeah.
on a violation.
I was like, fuck yeah, man. That's so true. You know, of course it was. I'm a dirtbag. I'm a scumbag. Of course I can't finish probation. But guess what? I got sober and into recovery and was living a spiritual life. And probation was just another thing I had to do, you know, kind of like just showing up for work, or just easy and simple.
Hey, isn't it crazy how easy it is when you're not trying to beat the system?
And that's life in general. You know what I mean? Everything that I thought was insurmountable, a career, a license, you know, a good relationship, all of these things come to me organically once I focus on the true problem, which is my dumbass. You know, is how I see these things. That shift is revolution. You know, it says in our literature that we love, you know, it says, you know, we've had a revolutionary change in our thinking, man, you know, and then that's it. That's the revolutionary change, is that shift when we stop pointing outward and we start pointing inward and getting busy fixing ourselves. That in that space is where everything shifted in my life.
Dude, I want to say one last thing. So I'd been on probation, I don't know how many times, in Hillsborough County. You know, my file folder follows me around. It's got letters in it from previous probation officers saying this guy is not probation material. We probably shouldn't go through this again. You know, like all of that stuff. And then when I got to Pasco County, you know, I came out of treatment and I was doing the deal for real. And I think it was like 8 months in, he goes, I'm going to early term you. Yes. And I was like, what?
Me too.
He goes, I want to read some of these letters in here. He goes, it's hard for me to believe that this is you that they're talking about. And I was like, buddy, that was me. Like, that's everything they said was correct. I mean, I argued with them at the time, but I was not probation material. I said, but the person you met is not that person. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I'd never heard those words. We're going to let you off early. What's the catch?
Yeah.
You know, like,
what? Yeah. You know, I never had to deal with probation while in recovery, but just life in general, the problems I created, you know, what used to be such a daunting task became so much easier. I change me, everything else changes. Even the problems or the problem people. We beat the system by learning how to stay out of it. Good stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and you know, I was sharing. I was actually shared at a meeting last night, and it was the no matter what. Right, we shared on the topic no matter what. And you know, I had somebody tell me when I first came in here, it's an inside job. It's an inside job. And it's like, man, that stuck with me. And I held on to that. I mean, I didn't know exactly what the fucking meant, but as I was going through this recovery, I found out it truly is an inside job. It's the total inside. It's an inventory of figuring out what makes you tick being honest and true and pure with yourself. Because guess what? Just like y'all just said, I'm the only one I'm fooling. I'm the one I'm tricking out of a good life. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the biggest April Fool's joke of all time is me. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, as soon as I got past, trying to freaking manipulate everything, I'm manipulating myself, man. As soon as that happened, man, I started fixing the things inside of me that wasn't right. Everything, even the people I didn't like changed, yeah. I'm going to read some comments. I got a few that we can read, and then that's pretty much it. I wanted to go to this one because Rudolph put a thing yesterday. It was that thing. And he's like, he talked about the hope shot and like, hey, we have a path for that, not judging where you are on that path, because I think that's huge, man. Like the hope shot. And I like how that's portrayed. That's who we are, because that's exactly what we want. Like the clarity statement we read that I forgot this time, but don't judge me for that. But the clarity statement we read, it doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there, and thank you for being a part of our family. We just succeed, figure out what makes you tick, figure out how to work on yourself, and just get through it, man, and get well. So yeah, man, I really like that, Rudolph. So I appreciate you, man, and your perception of how we run things around here and do things. And then I wanted to also read, we got Tabby Cat. I totally agree with what Caesar says. I had almost 2 years relapse, recently coming up on 3 years relapse, and I don't want to die. It's time to put in the work, no matter how hard or how uncomfortable it may be. And that's what's up right there. You get down, we screw up, and it's okay. How are we going to get up from here? It's like, was that Rocky? We got to yell Adrian every once in a while, go after it.
And also, shift the perspective and don't, there's no failure there. Is there a lapse? Absolutely. But what I see is 5 years of recovery. They're like the fellowships like that. I know like both sides, we have a tendency, of like shaming these newcomers or people that, had a relapse and oh, you're not a fucking, if you have 8-9 years and you go out and get loaded and come back, you're not a newcomer. You have a wealth of experience, and be careful about how we're talking to these people that are in a sensitive situation. Even people that have no idea what recovery are just coming in, what a miracle. I can imagine what I was hopelessly obsessed with substances and alcohol for 20 plus years. And I know what it's like to not be able to walk through those doors. And when anybody that comes through here, I'm celebrating you. Well done, because you're a miracle in my eyes, not a newcomer, not coming back. What can you teach me? That, who the fuck are we, right? What are you teaching me? You're teaching me something by having the courage and the strength to stay sober and walk through these doors again.
Yeah. No matter what, even if we screw up, get your ass back up and let's go, figure out what we didn't do, and that's, what's that called? What's that called? I don't know. I can't think of the word. Resilience.
Yeah.
Resilience. Yeah. That's it. Yep. Resilience. Dust yourself off and get back on it. Let's see. We got Wayne Scott in the building. What's up, Wayne? Mike Tyson Wayne? Said the same thing when he was in jail. He found freedom. Such an ironic statement.
Yeah, but not really, right? Because freedom has nothing to do with our environment and everything to do with our state of mind. Ooh. I have felt more free in prison than I had ever, like at times when I was out here. I felt safe, protected, and it's just because I could be in prison right now if I choose to be,
We got what's up, Kevin? Celebrating 7 years on June 6th by boy Danny is coming from Boston to give me my medallion. No fronts, so we'll talk on June 6th.
I was shaking my head. I was like, "Don't even try."
I'm not even.
He's going for it, dude.
I was like, "Ooh,
my boy Danny
W."
Danny W.
Boston. Oh man, I don't think anybody said that. If you say from Boston, you gotta say it like that. Let's see. We have Jules says takes a lot of balls to admit you relapse, and even bigger balls to get back up. That's right there. That's a true statement.
That's what's up.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys got something out of this, and happy Mother's Day to all your mothers. Again, one more time from all of us at the Hope Shot. What? You say something.
You
say
sound like Vanilla Ice. Yeah, and word to your mother.
Yeah, word to your mother. Say it then. See, that's great.
I stopped myself. I was like, I don't know. It might be too much.
No, it's not. All right, man. Hey, yo. Hope you guys got something out of this nice word to your mother. No, I wish I was cool as you, Caesar. I swear. Hope you guys have a great week. We love you guys, man. Thank you guys for being here, and we will see you next Sunday right here in the Hope Shot. Wait, let's get it. Well, I forget these the balloons. Is this balloons? There we go. Party time. See y'all.